It was so much fun last night, man.
Oh, I bet. And you got to go see your son Elias too. I was like, oh my God, man. Father and son.
Yeah. So it was like, is this for real?
It's really happening. Hey, at least the Spurs won. What about your boy Sohan?
I know, man. Over 100 people liked the Matt Lerma's post of
Sign the form.
sign the form. Chat on?
Yeah, I turned the chat on. Are we live? That's the question.
Doesn't look like it. Oh, here we go. Garrett's on there.
What's up, Garrett? Greetings from the Netherlands. Chris Gonzalez, good morning. Checking in from
Jury duty.
ballroom. What's up, everybody? Isaiah Aguilar's in here. You are? Mario Cavazos. What up, homies?
We got some new names coming in today.
Yeah. Hey, over the weekend, man, it's like
We exploded.
just boom, went up, man. Shout out to all our regulars and to the new faces. Welcome. Midtown Texas is here. Good morning from
Even
Sazon.
even the replay had massive views.
Yeah.
Church music.
There we go. The Church of the Alamo City Sportscast.
It's an amazing day here in San Antonio. This is the Alamo City Sportscast brought to you from West San Antonio, West Bexar County, also represented. It is amazing because the Spurs have won 2 in a row and are about to go streaking. That's right. We're calling it right now. My name is Mike Jimenez, Joe Garcia producing today's show. Excited because the Spurs beat the crap out of the Pacers yesterday, 117-105. This is a team that put up more than 150 points against the Spurs earlier this season, had 23 pointers the first time they played. Last night held to just 6. Spurs come out with a victory. The Spurs, I don't know, man. Are things changing a little bit? You can catch us on Twitter. Joe's at 2 Shots Podcast. I am at MJ Acquired Taste. And the fact of the matter is, I have a Twitter poll out asking the question, are things different? Does this feel different? Because the Spurs won 2 in a row back in January, then went out and lost 12 of the next 13. But is it different now, or do we have to pump the brakes? Big show. We are live right now on YouTube and on all the streaming platforms, whether it be Spotify, iHeart app. Dude, Joe, Friday, our numbers on Friday
They exploded.
The
And
Spurs won a game, and people wanted to hear this podcast, and it was a great show. Thank you to Chicano Fuerte and Spernandez for being part of the show.
Yeah, it was great.
But my goodness, Spurs fans are getting excited right now. So much so that about 15 minutes ago, I was talking to my dad, and I asked my dad, what are you doing tomorrow? Do you want to get going around noon? Go I-10 East over to Houston? Go watch the Spurs get their 3rd in a row, because the Spurs have not had a winning streak since December of 2022. Okay, 2 in a row is not a streak. Okay, that's back-to-back wins. A streak is 3 in a row. Earlier this season, as I mentioned in January, they won 2 in a row, but then they lost to the Wizards.
Yeah, they did.
Now the Spurs are starting a 3-game road trip. They got the Rockets. God, it'd be so fun if we saw the Spurs beat the crap out of the Rockets there in H-Town.
Yeah, it'd be great, And the thing too, I just wanted to go ahead and give a quick shout out to all the viewers and new faces that are coming around and checking us out. We're almost to our goal.
Yeah.
We were at like 696, right? And I said, I'm going to set a goal of 750 for this month. We're already at 720 subscribers going on up, man. Thanks, everybody.
We had more views than number of subscribers this weekend, which
crazy.
means that people were checking in for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Right. And I get it. When the Spurs aren't playing well, or when the Cowboys aren't playing well,
yeah,
people kind of want to avoid sports talk radio sometimes because it's a gut punch. But now that the Spurs have won a couple of games, and now that Victor Wembanyama has become one of the best players in the NBA, Spurs fans are getting excited because now I know the season's going to end in a couple of months, but then we have to look forward to the lottery. Look forward to the draft, and then also into free agency. But now is the time that people want to talk about the Spurs. So we're going to get into a lot of Spurs talk. Ask the question, have things changed? Second question that I have for you, it's not even a question, it's more of a statement. I'm going to give you 10 reasons why the Spurs are better than before. Okay, 10 reasons why.
Look at Matt Lerma's in the chat right now. Sign the form, Skip. You know what? I got it right here.
The Jeremy Sohan apology form.
It's ready to go.
You know what? We may have to visit that. We're also going to get into our baddie brackets. That's right. We put a name to it. The name to it is the baddie brackets. We're going to count down 64 of the hottest female celebrities out there to crown the ultimate baddie out there. Right now, you can go on to MJ Acquired Taste. We have a poll out. Again, we're going to do it in pods for the first 2 rounds there, okay? So the top 2 vote getters of each pod advance to the Sweet 16, and then it's going to be one-on-one.
Oh, look at that. We got a new subscriber. Thanks for subscribing, Ryan Santillan.
Very cool, man. Welcome to the show, baby.
Welcome.
Sports, pop culture, and nostalgia and Nesio things. Sometimes Demon Mike comes out. But I tell you what, though, there is one of our polls that we have out there for the baddie brackets. Again, we're going to try to crown the hottest female celebrity this March in honor of March Madness. And we have different brackets. So we unveiled yesterday the 50 and older crowd. Okay. So it's like
Salma Hayek's
in there, J-Lo, Sofia Vergara. You know, we have different names out there, Jennifer Aniston, Regina Hall. And again, the top 2 from each poll advance to the next round.
Okay.
And then I think we're going to have a surprise twist in there because you and I are only 2 people, Joe. We don't know all the baddies out there. Yeah. But I think we're going to have newcomers come in, new names come in. Once we establish the Sweet 16, we're going to have another bracket come in of listener choice. You know, the viewers bringing this one up. But Demon Mike for Prez is what Jonathan C. says on our YouTube stream. You can be part of this show by leaving your comments. The best ones get read, but Jonathan C. saying Demon Mike for Prez. Sometimes Demon Mike makes an appearance on a Demon Mike Monday.
Demon Mike Monday.
But last night I was at the Spurs game, and Spurs won 117-105. I went out there with my daughter who's visiting from Louisiana. She just came back from the Philippines. She was on a vacation with her grandmother out there. So I'm glad to see my daughter. Took 4 of my nephews. My nephew, Jacob, turned 21 years old yesterday, and he celebrated in a great way. First of all, he had a great birthday. We threw a little party for him, like a little, you turn 21, here's some alcohol party the night before at my house. And then he put a parlay down and won a $20 bet, paid out $100. So he got the parlay and the Spurs won. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, that paid for a round of drinks at the Frost Center.
It did. It did. But let's talk about what happened last night. Spurs victorious 117-105 over the Indiana Pacers. Spurs now 13-48 on the season, but who cares about that? The Spurs are 2-0 in the month, if I'm not mistaken.
2-0, baby.
That's what I'm looking forward to. We are 2-0, baby, last 2 games. And the big question, Joe, is have things changed? Have the Spurs turn the corner? Because as I mentioned before, Spurs won back-to-back games in January, then lost 12 out of 13. After the first win against Oklahoma City, we did the show on Friday, and it was glorious, right? Because I wasn't going to go off on Sohan or anybody or talk about
just enjoy the win.
We just all enjoy the win. Let's all come together. Team tank, team play-in, team we like our guys versus team skipping steps. We all just came together on Friday. But I'm going to be honest, Joe. I was thinking to myself, pump the brakes a little bit. It was one win, right? It was one win. Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 and I were chatting about it. By the way, follow him on Twitter and on Threads at Jeff G Spurs Zone. Also follow Locked On Spurs for your daily Spurs content on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. But I was talking to Jeff about it, and I was like, man, Jeff, it was just one win, man. But Spurs fans got super amped up about it all. And I get it because it was against Chet Holmgren. I get it. It's because the Spurs managed to lose their lead, keep their composure, and win the game. And what did they do last night, Joe? They lost their lead, kept their composure, and won the game.
They won.
Okay. I am now of the belief that Victor Wembanyama is going to win Defensive Player of the Year, and he will be an All-NBA team member this year. This year.
Yeah.
Vegas has Wemby at number 2 odds, right? Rudy Gobert, he's won the award before. But watching that game last night, things have changed defensively for Wemby. He's always been a decent defender. But there is a literal no-fly zone around the guy. Watching the game from the vantage point that I had in the cheap seats, there is a no-fly zone. People are no longer going anywhere near the guy. He's like Revis Island.
It's that length, dude. When he makes, like, if they get around him, they forget how lengthy he is. He takes one step, boom, he's there.
How he managed to get 6 blocks last night when they were avoiding him. It's like he sought the blocks out. And they purposely avoided him, and he was getting a lot of these blocks on weak side D. He was rolling out, getting the guy, and it was so funny because I was looking at it. They avoided the lane yesterday. But every time Wemby sat out, now Wemby, remember back in the day, Wemby, you're only going to get 24 minutes, 25 minutes, now playing 31 minutes. The 17 minutes that he was out, the Spurs sucked.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Okay. He goes out of the game, and then all of a sudden, you see players like TJ McConnell and Tyrese Halliburton going out and attacking the lane. TJ McConnell for the Pacers last night was unreal, 13 out of 15. But it was so fun watching this game because the Spurs are playing as a team right now. Jonathan C. asking the questions on Defensive Player of the Year. Right now, last we saw, Wemby's at plus 800. Chris Gonzalez calling him the Bermuda Triangle. Wemby is the Bermuda Triangle.
Anything that goes in the lane disappears.
I like that. But dude, look at this. Look at the stat line for Wemby last night. 31 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, and 6 blocks. The guy is playing like a top 10 player in the NBA the last month. He's going to be all NBA. He might, in fact, become Defensive Player of the Year. And if the Spurs are showing right now that they have turned the corner at least a bit, because I think the NBA and the people who follow the NBA, the media, have taken notice. They didn't take notice when the Spurs won back-to-back games in January. They're taking notice right now. They're noticing that, wait a minute, Wemby is becoming the alien. Yeah. He's figuring it out. So we're talking about the 10 things that the Spurs are doing that is making it better. That just to say that the Spurs are turning the corner. Number 1 is that Wemby is playing not at an all-star level. He's playing at an all-NBA level, not third team. He's playing at an all-NBA level 1 and 2 team and playing like a Defensive Player of the Year. So number 1, Wemby is playing like one of the NBA's best players.
Well, he is.
He is
the best players. I mean, look at what the kid's doing. You know what's surprising too? You failed to mention one thing. When you see Wemby play in person, for as tall as he is, man, that kid is quick, dude.
Yeah.
He's quick with it, man. He's got that quick first step. He's got that quick jumper. And not only that, but like he can get up to the ball so fast, and the length and everything, it bothers people. And they're not used to playing with somebody out on the court that can do these things. You're not supposed to.
Who can block threes.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to shoot threes.
Yeah.
At being 7'3".
Dude, he was dribbling like a point guard out there. Tony Hill, welcome to the stream, a man, saying Wemby is the black hole of NBA on defense. I like that. So let's get into this when it comes to Victor Wembanyama. Last night's game, he was consistent all the way through. And I'm going to go to number 2 as to why the Spurs are a better team. We're going 10 reasons. Number 2 involves Pop and Wemby. Okay. Pop trusts Wemby more.
I think he does. I think that has a testament to tell you how good of a player Wemby is. Right now, the kid is ahead of schedule, man. He might have started a little slow in the beginning, getting used to things, getting used to the Spurs offense, getting used to playing with his new teammates. But now that he's kind of figured some things out, you're seeing what this kid is capable of, and he's special, man.
He is a very, very special player. And by the way, we have some highlights here courtesy of Valley Sports last night. Victor Wembanyama going off and having a great game. The thing about the trust factor of Pop right now, we saw that against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Wemby had 2 fouls early in the first quarter. Normally, you yank him out.
Yeah.
Pop left him in. He stayed in the game, cleaned up his game, and played well. Last night, I thought Pop rested him at the right moments. And I think that Pop is understanding that everything needs to go through him. Down the stretch in the fourth quarter of this game, 90%, and I'm not lying, this is not hyperbole, this is not exaggeration, 90% of the plays being called offensively went through Wemby, as they should.
You mean the Spurs finally figured out, give the ball to Wemby?
Give the ball to Wemby. Who would have thought, right? And they figured it out. They realized that it needs to go through him and have Wemby figure this out. Now, I don't want Wemby bringing the ball up the court, but I want Wemby to be the one to decide what's going to happen in the front court. If you give him the ball at the top of the key, great. If you give it to him on the blocks, great. On the elbow, great. Just give him the ball and have him figure it out, because the guy's 7'3", 7'4". He can see where everyone's at. He's a pretty decent passer. And reason number two is that the Spurs are now running the offense through him, and that is a Pop thing. Oh, my God. That dunk
Malachi
right there.
Branham, bro.
No, that was Blake Wesley last night.
Was it? That was Wesley?
Blake Wesley last night had a monster dunk. Coast, you know what? It reminded me of the song by Sade, Smooth Operator.
Oh, God.
Remember that song? Remember
dude.
the line? Coast to coast, LA to Chicago. This was a literal coast to coast.
Bam.
From bucket to bucket, 92 feet.
Look at
That was
excited.
amazing.
Look at how excited his teammates were.
Again, video courtesy of Bally Sports. Spurs going out there and getting the win. Reason number three why the Spurs are winning. Devin Vassell is playing as the Robin to Wemby's Batman. He finally decided to take a back seat. He's still getting points. He's still getting his shots. He's still getting his buckets. But he's taken a slight seat backwards a little bit and is actually playing better because of it. Number 4. Jeremy Sohan knows his role now.
Hey, I got the form right here.
You know what? I'll sign it. If he plays good tomorrow and the Spurs get 3 in a row, I'll sign.
On.
If we get a streak, I'll sign the form.
Sign it now.
Okay. But number 4 is that Jeremy Sohan is excelling at the number 4 option. You know how many plays were called for him yesterday? Not a damn one. Not a damn play was called for Sohan yesterday. Sohan was asked to react more than anything else. He was asked to react to what was going on, go out there and get the rebound, go out there and do the dirty work. That is what Sohan was asked to do. He goes out there. He finally got into double digits later on in the game. But Sohan last night, 12 points on 6 of 8 shooting, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. He did the dirty things, the little things, and he was playing within himself. So I am perfectly fine with what he's doing, and I will sign the damn form if it means that he's going to be the number 4 option out there.
If you sign this form, we're going to go ahead and frame it, and I'm going to mount it on the wall.
Reason number 5. The Spurs are guarding the 3-point line a lot better. Indiana, first game they played against the Spurs, over 150 points scored against this team. 20 of them were off. 20 3-pointers were made. Last night, Spurs only gave up 6 3-pointers. They're chasing guys off the 3-point line a lot better. Defensively, dare I say, they're coming together a little bit. Okay, so we have 5 reasons right there. I'm going to give you reason number 6.
Okay.
Julian Champagnie is not in the game. That guy started like 20-some-odd games for the Spurs in a row and was doing cardio out there. He wasn't getting points, wasn't getting rebounds, wasn't getting assists. He was doing cardio out there. And Julian Champagnie no longer getting minutes is one of the big reasons why the Spurs are winning.
You've never been a fan of that kid.
I was a fan last year. I was really excited about him this year, to be honest with you. Other reasons why the Spurs are winning. Spurs are playing with a point guard out there. Now, there was a part in the game yesterday where I was frustrated. Trey Jones got hurt in the third quarter, and Pop refused to take him out. I was like, Trey Jones is holding his back, running up and down the court gingerly, and Pop refused to take him out. I don't know why or why not, but Trey Jones kind of got things back together. He was not 100%, but last night played 30 minutes, didn't get a lot of stats, but I like him bringing the ball up the court and giving the ball to Wemby. Other reasons why the Spurs are playing well, they're playing at home. That
Wow.
rodeo road trip took a lot out of them. They're playing at home. They're feeding off the crowd. Number 9, another reason why the Spurs are winning is because maybe they came together on the rodeo road trip.
Look at you, got somebody else joining you in your Julian Champagne slander here.
Tony Hilderson out and says, thank God Pop Volley pulled the trigger getting JC out of the lineup. See, read some other comments coming in here. Tavares, Spurs need to upgrade the point guard position. Jones is not it. I do agree they need to have an upgrade at point guard.
Who are you going to get?
But as of right now, that's the best of what we got, right? But the Spurs last night falling behind, and not they lost their lead in the third quarter. But the last reason why, number 10,
they felt Mike's presence.
They felt Mike's presence. Thank you, Mijo.
Well, so Elias says, yeah, Spurs fans can thank you and him for the win yesterday.
Yes. The Spurs have a winning record this year when I'm in the building. I've gone to 5 games. Spurs are 3-2.
Maybe they know you're coming, and Jeremy Sohan's looking up. saying,
Sohan has had his best games of the season
Pointing
when
at
I'm
you.
there. But the last thing about it is that the Spurs are learning how to win games. They're closing out better, and that's the thing, is that they're not freaking out when losing the lead.
You mean they're actually learning how to win? That's a good sign. Remember I said that, Mike?
And the learning how to win is beyond all that. It's because what they're doing to learn how to win is they're giving Wemby the damn ball. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? Because look at like other teams like in the NBA that do well. Jokic, right? You have Luka Doncic. You got Giannis. Back in the day when you had Jordan, when you had Kobe, you give the ball to the superstar and have the superstar figure it out. Why that was not done from the get-go, I'll never understand. Because the Spurs, Pop famously early in the season was not calling any plays for Victor Wembanyama. But now 90% of the plays are going through him. And because it's going through him, Vassell can spot up and can attack whenever he needs to attack. Because of that, Trey Jones doesn't need to worry about getting 8 or 9 assists. And because of that, Jeremy Sohan does not have to worry about creating his own shot. He doesn't have to worry about running in and doing hooks. He doesn't have to worry about anything other than doing what Jeremy does best, which is being a pest. If Jeremy Sohan is the number 4 person on this team, I will sign that.
No.
Now, last night, welcome to the Spurs, Malachi Branham, my son, which I disowned.
Now you're welcoming him back in with open arms.
It was funny because on Twitter last night they said the Spurs were going to start Malachi Branham instead of Julian Champagne, Malachi Branham instead of other players. And he goes out there, 18 points, 7 of 13 shooting, 18 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds in 31 minutes. He looked like an NBA player last night.
Kid looked good, man.
The 2-man game that Branham had with Jeremy Sohan, do they practice together? Do they room together on the road? Because these two guys appear to have that sort of mentality where they knew what each one was doing. There was some pretty intricate passing going on between Branham and Sohan yesterday that was beyond, we're just passing the ball to each other.
Maybe they've been playing some pickup games in the gym,
Something was going on where their passing skills was electric.
Yeah, they've been probably working with them too, the coaching staff. The kids are starting to put some things together. And I said that I didn't care what the record would be at this point.
Yeah.
The only thing I wanted is for them to start putting together some wins as we start winding down the season, because I want them to carry that momentum over into next season. You don't want them to just go out on a flat losing streak and not win any games. I mean, even if it's like a couple, 3 or 4 games,
confidence,
something
there. Chris Gonzalez reaches out to us and says, Mike, foster Malachi Branham again. I'm going to have to do that, man. I'm going to have to do that. Tavarius, though, good point. Pop was coaching yesterday. I'll give you that. What does this mean for Keldon Johnson is a question being asked right now by John C.
I think it means that he's going to be just coming off that bench. He's a good 6 man.
I think he's gone.
That too.
I think he's gone. Keldon yesterday was 7 for 13, 17 points. He had the body language of somebody who was 0 for 13.
I think he just had a tough game, man. He was
tired. He was 7 for 13. He made 3 3-pointers. He just looked defeated out there. And I don't know what was going on. He just
probably tired, bro. I mean, that rodeo road trip's no joke, man.
James Molina reaches out to us. The stock, my favorite stat of the year. It's the last comment there, saying crazy stat. Wemby has 258 stocks for the year. Next closest is Anthony Davis at 211. Defensive player of the year. So what is a stock? It's a combination of steals and blocks. I had never heard of that category ever before, but a stock. So how many stocks did he have yesterday? Well, 6 blocks and 1 steal. He had 7 stocks. Dude, Wemby might win rookie of the he's going to win rookie of the year. He might win defensive player of the year.
Look what Mario Cavasso says. He says these players, Malachi and Wesley, are cutting to the basket for easy layups.
Well, they're cutting to the basket because you have a 7'3" guy who's holding the ball up in the air. And all eyes are on him. That is the thing. Wemby has become so elite when it comes to his play. Shooting 11 for 17 yesterday, 3 of 4 from 3. He has become so elite that before, in October, November, and December, Wemby couldn't shoot threes. So they'll be like, yeah, let him shoot it. Wemby couldn't finish very well at the basket unless he was dunking it.
Yeah.
So it was like, we only need one person to guard him. Last 10 games, Wemby is shooting 43.6% from 3. Last 10 games, 43.6%. From the field, 50%. Free throw line, 85%. Last 10 games, Wemby, 23 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 blocks. That's his average. 23, 10, 5, 5.
You know, one of the things you're overlooking, too, from yesterday's game is that the Spurs, they shot very well from beyond the arc. As far as three-pointers go,
yeah, they did.
That made a big difference in this game. The Spurs were 10 of 25 from beyond the arc. Good enough for 40%.
Yeah, and they knocked down like 48% against Oklahoma City. This was the worst shooting three-point team in the NBA.
Yeah.
And might still be.
They played good yesterday.
For the last 2 games, doing well. Spurs going on a road trip right now at 13 and 48. But again, who cares about those 48? Because in my eyes, they're 2-0 for the month. That's all that really matters to me right now. The Spurs right now going on the road. They've got the Kings. Well, the Rockets first, then the Kings, then the Warriors. Back home against the Warriors on NBA TV. Joe, think about that. Rockets, Kings, Warriors. Spurs going to win 2 of those games. Spurs going to have a 4 out of 5. They're going to beat the Rockets. They're going to lose to the Kings and then beat the Warriors. Warriors, who, by the way, I think at halftime yesterday.
Oh, God, it was bad.
Against the Celtics.
Jeez.
Jesus Christ.
Man, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. I'm just like, sit everyone.
I saw these graphics on Twitter yesterday asking the question, can somebody check on the Warriors? Are they okay? They lost yesterday 140-88.
Damn.
At halftime, we're down 82-38 to the Boston Celtics.
That's awful, man. Awful. Trade everyone.
But Spurs fans are excited about what went down. So I asked the question on
you didn't mention Booty Crumbs
being consistent off the bench. Dude, I'm still not for Zach Collins. I'm sorry, but let's go to the poll results so far. The poll result asking the question, are things different? Are the Spurs better now? 100 people have voted in the last hour. The question was, Spurs have won back-to-back games in January, then lost 12 out of 13. My question, do the last 2 wins feel different to you?
Of course they did.
70% say the Spurs are now better. It is different. 30% saying the Spurs need to pump the brakes. Ooh, we got a little bit of a...
Yeah, I did that because I'm going to start a poll for our viewers right now.
Okay. NBA History on Twitter posted yesterday that Victor Wembanyama joins David Robinson and Tim Duncan as the only NBA rookies to record a 30-10, 5-5 game. So that's only happened 4 times in NBA history. Twice David Robinson did it. Once Tim Duncan did it. And now Wemby does it. Again, the third player in NBA history, all 3 Spurs, to have 30 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 blocks in a single game. Remarkable, dude. Wemby's going to be a top 5 player next season. It's going to be the best player in the league in probably 3 years. Remarkable. Isaiah reaches out to us on our stream saying, y'all hate on Zach, but he's a top quality. He's top of the key playmaking off the bench. And he, basically you have to defend him because he can knock down a three from time to time. So I found it to be interesting. But the Spurs last night getting the win, back-to-back wins. They now go on the road tomorrow against the Houston Rockets. You mean the Spurs have beaten 2 winning teams? Who's to say that we can't go over there to Houston to beat a team that is not as good as what we beat? Oklahoma City, good team. Indiana Pacers, decent team. Going up against Houston, they hate us over there.
Oh, yeah.
We hate them over there. I think Spurs fans, I know it's a Tuesday, need to make the way up to I-10. I'm going to ask my dad one more time tonight, do you want to go take that trip and go to the Spurs game, wear our Wemby jerseys, and go out there? Because I want to see the Spurs go out there and win. So what are we working on there, Joe?
So what I'm doing now is I'm going to go ahead and throw this out to the listeners, to the viewers right now. And we're going to start the poll. And I'm asking the question, is Wemby the front runner now for Defensive Player of the Year?
You know what? I'm going to look that up real fast because I haven't checked out the latest and greatest when it comes to this. So let's see here. Because Jonathan C. was asking the question earlier. He goes, hey, is it plus 200? He goes, if Wemby's plus 200, I want to take part in that. And I was like, dude, he was plus 800 last week. And he's like, 800? Let's see here.
Yeah. And we also got to mention that right now, currently on our website, we are streaming live audio. So if you're on the road and you don't necessarily can watch us on YouTube, you can go to our website at Alamo City Podcastnetwork.com and just hit the little play button there and listen to us on the go.
Very cool. The website's great, dude. Website is great. By the way, here are the DraftKings Sportsbook right now for the NBA MVP award. Most valuable player, Nikola Jokic right now is the leader at minus 155. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander plus 230. Doncic at 3. Giannis at 4. Jason Tatum at number 5. When it comes to Rookie of the Year, Victor Wembanyama is now minus 2,500. That's like basically like 99% chance. Just get to 65 games played and you win that game.
Runaway favorite.
Most improved player, Tyrese Maxey is by far the favorite, followed by Kobe White, Jalen Williams, and Alperen Sengun. Coach of the Year, who cares about Coach of the Year? Sixth Man of the Year, Malik Monk. Defensive Player of the Year, Wemby's now at plus 700.
Jeez.
Gobert went from minus 800 to minus 700. Wemby went from plus 800 to plus 700, which means the race is tightening a little bit at a time.
There you go. I like this comment here from Jonathan C. In the words of Rob Thompson, the best ability is availability. Collins' cheeks.
So Jonathan C., my man, plus 700. Dude, Zach Collins yesterday statistically had a good game, but he looked off. I don't know, man. There's just something about, I don't know if it's body language. I don't know if it's just the angle by which I was watching the game. He didn't seem comfortable out there, but he was knocking down shots. I don't know why he's always on his ass, though. He's like 7 feet tall. Why are you always being knocked down?
And we got a new viewer here, Isaiah Aguilar. He's been commenting a lot. Appreciate that. He says, I agree that his defense isn't up to snuff, but put him in the lab, see what he can do.
John saying he's taking that plus 700 action today. Dude, it was plus 4,000 3 weeks ago. It was plus 2,500 2 weeks ago. He's making that charge right now, Interesting. When it comes to the Spurs winning the number 1 overall pick right now, the Spurs are plus 550 odds. If you want to make that bet, very, very cool. But the Spurs, again, 3-game road trip, starts off in Houston tomorrow. I like the game against Golden State. I think the Spurs could take out Golden State. That Sacramento game is going to be a little bit more difficult. But
Tim Gonzalez is asking, is there a particular highlight moment that you just go and rewatch Wemby, in the games throughout the season?
Well, the biggest highlight for me is the block on Chet Holmgren.
Oh,
I mean, I know that he's had these monster blocks and he's had these incredible dunks. But the 2 plays for me for Wemby this year where I look at it and I think to myself, yeah, that's what I came for, right? Was when he blocked Giannis when Giannis was steaming towards the basket, like in December.
Yeah.
It was just like going all hard, like a bull towards the basket. And Wemby stuffed him at the rim. And on top of that, the Chet block. Those are the two things that I look at and I think to myself, wow, this is a special, special player. 3-point shooting for Wemby is up to 33.3% for the season.
You know what he finally figured out? He's got to step back a little bit further
from
the 3-point line.
22-9 is not good for him. He needs to be at 23-6.
I'm like, geez, dude. He went back a little bit further, and he's just been money, dude, knocking him down.
He's going to be an all-NBA player this year, at least 13, because, dude, last year, Domantas Sabonis was third-team center, and he was at 19-12, didn't have even one block per game, did not even have one steal per game. He was 19 and 13 with like 6 assists. Dude, Wemby right now, almost at 21 points per game, over 10 rebounds. He's got over 3 blocks per game, over a steal per game.
It's unreal, man.
Dude, Wemby is a cheat code.
Hey, and check this out. Latest poll right now that we just ran up for our viewers, asking, is Wemby the front runner now for Defensive Player of the Year? 71% say yes, 29% say no, with about 17 votes in.
Yeah. It's incredible what he's been doing. James Molina pointed out the fact that when it came to Rookie of the Year, Wemby was at plus 250 at one point, which means that he was not the favorite.
Not at all. And that's when the media was really pushing for Chet.
Okay. But I would say on January 1, when the page turned on the calendar and it was 2024, Chet Holmgren was the Rookie of the Year at that point in the season. Chet Holmgren was Rookie of the Month for November and December in the Western Conference. So, yeah, he was the Rookie of the Year at that point. But January, big month for Wemby. February, monster month for Wemby. He's now far and ahead the better guy. But what Wemby needs to do, again, he needs to get to 65 games played. Because, again, you need to have a minimum number of games played. He has played 55. 10 more, he qualifies. So if he's healthy enough to get through to 65, he's going to be perfectly fine. But the Spurs right now on the road tomorrow, I was looking at the prices for tickets in Houston. It's cheap.
Yeah, it's cheap.
It's just as cheap as here.
Well, I don't know if they're going to start price hiking their season ticket holders like the Spurs are for this next season, dude. I'm really considering just canceling my season tickets for next year. I'm actually going to go and meet with my Spurs season ticket rep and tell them, like, how much are we talking, dude? Like, is it that bad? Because if it is, yeah, I'm done.
So, yeah, dude, I mean, it's kind of hard to up the price when you are
that bad
of a team.
25% hike, dude, from last year's prices. I'm like, why?
But the Spurs playing better makes it so that it's just, you could stomach it a little bit more. Rockets 26 and 34. Rockets have lost 7 out of 10. So the Spurs catching them at the right time. So I'm at the Spurs game last night. The game hadn't even started yet. I'm getting to my seat. And you go through the arena, and I'm in the upper level,
the upper bowl. What section?
I was in 210.
210. So you were kind of away from Elias. He was in 227.
Yeah, I was closer towards the action, I guess you could say. And I was on the 10th row, so I wasn't in the nosebleeds. I have made the conclusion that the nosebleeds is when you are above the banners.
Man,
that hang like if you are above the banner, you're in the cheap seats. I was in the 10th row. The banners probably starts around 15 or 16. So my daughter was like, "Oh, well, these are the worst of the good seats, Dad." But so you make your way through the Frost Bank Center, and as I'm making my way towards my seat, you go to section 107. That's where the escalator is, kind of like where the Spurs shop is. I'm going up the escalator, and I hear this guy behind me as I'm going up the escalator going, "Dude, I think Sohan's going to have a huge night. I think he's going to at least get 30 points tonight." His friend goes, "The hell he is. I can't stand that guy."
Oh, man.
And at this point, I'm like laughing, but I'm looking forward. And then the guy that said that he was going to score 30 points goes, "I'm only saying it because this mother effer's in front of me." I start laughing. He goes, "I like the podcast. I like the show." But he goes, "I saw you. I knew it was you. So I'm just going to talk crap to you." And I was laughing so hard. So that was pretty funny. And then we did see Elias out there.
Your
so
boy.
my boy.
Did you get him a beer at least?
I did not. I did not realize he was there until like third quarter.
Oh man.
But I got to show that photo there because people were asking for us to take a photo, so we can go to Twitter real fast.
That was a funny photo. There it is.
There it is. Me and my alleged son,
Elias.
And you know what's so funny? I almost wore my white Ginobili jersey yesterday, which
God.
would have been perfect. It would have
2020.
been perfect. We would have called it 2020 vision. But that's the section I was in. You see the banners in the background?
Yeah.
If you're under the banner, it's not a cheap seat. You just got an upper level seat. If you're above the banner,
Yeah.
those are the nosebleeds.
And we got a $5 tip super chat here from Mario Cavazos. Thank you, sir.
It says Wemby's the jack of all trades, yet the master of a go-to play. What do you think his go-to move will become? It's a great question because he has a lot of tools in the bag there, right? He can do a lot of different things. What I liked about Wemby yesterday was the fact that he didn't settle for threes. He shot a lot of threes, but he didn't settle for threes. And sometimes you see players who are that talented, who can knock down threes, who are especially hot. Again, he's over 40% the last 10 games. They will sometimes settle for the three. He would shoot it, but then again, the next time he would get the ball, he would drive in or he would post up. Ultimately, I think his go-to move is going to be, you know what? I think his post-up move is going to be kind of like a 10-foot jumper or a 10-foot turnaround jumper. Very, very similar to what Duncan had. Very similar to what LaMarcus Aldridge had. And if LaMarcus Aldridge starts working with Wemby, I think that's the next evolution there.
Look at that, James Molina. Appreciate you, man. He says $5 from James Molina. Season ticket fund for Joe.
For Joe.
Appreciate you, brother. If you're ever at a game and you happen to see me there, man, hit me up. I'll buy you a beer, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I noticed in the Spurs game yesterday, when did they start doing this? When I bought a soda, they said it's self-serve.
Yeah, I guess you just go back to the little fountain and just pour your own now.
Yeah,
you know?
like we're at a taqueria. And I don't mind it. I just wasn't used to it. I guess because I've been having beer all year long. And yesterday I wanted to have just a Diet Coke.
Hey, if you can sneak this into the Frost Center, right? You know how they have those little plastic bottles like your Fireball?
Yeah.
You sneak a couple of those in, you get a free, refillable soda. And now you're talking.
There are people on Twitter who say that they can sneak in Fireball and shots of Jim Beam and stuff like that into the Alamo Dome during UTSA games. People say that on Twitter. Hi, my name is People. I'm the people who do that. I don't mind it, dude. What am I going to do? Just throw it out? Just throw it out.
It's a little bottle, dude. It's like $3.
Well, no, man. You go to like a Texas Cheer Liquor. It's like $1 for a lot of these shots.
Oh, okay. So it's even cheaper.
The $3 are like the crown. So like you can get Fireball for $1 a shot. You can get like Jim Beam low level bourbon or whiskey bourbon for $1. If you want a higher level like a Tito's or if you wanted a Crown, you're looking anywhere between $2 and $2.79
for a little bottle
for one. Yeah, and then they even have like little gentleman jacks.
Hey, those are good, man.
Dude, you know what's really good? My friends and I are really into the salted watermelon whiskey. That is Old Smoky.
Yeah,
that's good, man.
Look at this, dude. This has me cracking up. Thank you, Jonathan C. Can we talk about how bad the popcorn is? That popcorn is pretty freaking bad, dude. It always has nothing but like the leftover little crumbs and crap. Yeah. And it doesn't matter what scoop they give you or what. That popcorn at the Frost Center is just terrible, man. Terrible.
I was thinking about the popcorn is kind of bad. It's because it's dry. There's no butter in it.
Yeah, it's just nasty, dude. You know who's a big popcorn aficionado? Steph Curry, dude. He's like gone to great lengths to make sure that the NBA is serving good popcorn. I guess it hasn't trickled down here to San Antonio yet because that popcorn's pretty bad.
It is. But I will say this. Here's the experience of the Frostbank Center, which is better, is because they've got better restaurants out there. You have the Whataburgers out there and the Pizza Huts and they've been around forever. You could also find them at the Alamo Dome. But when they added La Gloria a couple years ago, when they added all these other areas, Burgerteca and all that stuff, pretty good stuff, man. Pretty good stuff. But the best experience though of the Spurs games right now is they got rid of a lot of the old school music. We don't hear, y'all ready for this? No, 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 no.
Come on,
no,
Mike.
no,
Stop
no.
hating on that music, bro.
This is
It's
how
a
we
staple.
do
It's a
it.
staple.
No, man, it's
Oh,
awful.
bro.
But they've done a better job. And also when they dim the lights and then they have the pregame things going on, like the pregame video, it's a lot better.
Look at
And-
this. Chris
yeah.
Gonzalez says the Spurs use Hill Country Fair popcorn. That popcorn is from the last championship. Yeah, man. If you're ever hard up, dude, do not buy that popcorn, man. You know what's good? Sometimes they have like certain nights where they have like, I think it used to be $1.50 hot dog or little nachos, and they were small, but I mean, it gets you through, just a little snack.
That's funny, but it's so fun to talk about the Spurs when they're winning. Isn't that? Oh, what is this? Demon Mike does not stand for the anthem, says Midtown, Texas.
Oh, man. I don't know, dude.
Dude, last night when I was going into the arena, I was the first person in line. I was like the next person in line to get in, and they stopped us because they're like, national anthem. Everyone stopped for the anthem, right? But then the anthem didn't start for like 5 or 6 minutes. So we stood there outside the Frost Bank Center for like 10 minutes, which I don't mind. I mean, I stand for the anthem.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
But it was like, why are we waiting? Like, I understand when it starts, but they draw the curtains to like make it darker. And we all just stood there. And I get it. But the anthem hadn't started. So we just sat there just twiddling our thumbs the entire time, which was weird. But it was good to see at the Spurs game last night. They had, I would say, probably about 36 new military service members who on the court took their oath.
Oh, that's cool, man.
And they were on, it was every single branch was represented because you could tell the differences in the uniforms. Oh, there's Navy, there's Air Force, there's Army, there's Marines, there's Coast Guard. It was pretty cool out there.
Oh, look at this, man. Matt Lerma says, funny thing is I heard Montel Jordan during the Jazz game, and I was like, that checks out. Tell him, Matt.
And 6'8" he stood. People said that the music that he played was good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like it when they, like yesterday, the other weekend, like this last weekend, Saturday, I was chilling in the backyard with my family, finally relaxing after a long day of doing stuff. And they were playing some bangers, man. Me and my brother-in-law and some of the family were in the back just listening to jams. They had like Tupac, California Love.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, dude, I'll get down to some of that stuff. Old school hip hop, man.
Love it.
That's some bangers, dude.
Love it. This past weekend, I ran a 10K, and a lot of it was to bangers, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But can we get the entertainment bug? Let's talk a little entertainment.
Yeah, man. We'll go ahead and get that. Let's go ahead and look for it.
Let's go ahead and show some video courtesy of NBC. This weekend, the number 1 seed in our baddie brackets was the host of Saturday Night Live. And this is a skit here that shows her working at a fictional Hooters. This was a great skit, by the way. Sydney Sweeney coming in the Hooters outfit. She is arguably the number 1 overall seed in our baddies bracket.
Arguably.
Okay, I will say this. She did a fantastic job because she was making fun at how hot she is. It was great.
That Mike.
Be lying if I said I hadn't worn that outfit before.
I got your outfit now for when we rent the dunk tank.
This video of her spilling the drinks. So this whole skit right here is about like the waitresses counting their tips at the end of the night. And one girl's like, I got $41. The other girl's like, I got 38. And then she goes, I got 36 G's.
Oh, God.
Because people were loving her. Okay, so there was that skit right there. The other skit that I thought was kind of funny was Sydney Sweeney falling in love with a dog. It was so bad. It was so bad. It was about her being the head cheerleader, and she's always falling in love with the star basketball player. So she goes from star basketball player to star basketball player. But then the school has a new student playing on the team, and it's Air Bud.
Oh gosh, man.
It is so bad. So she goes over to flirt with Air Bud. And that dog was part of the whole skit. It was so great. It was so sad. Poor
Air
dog.
Bud.
Poor dog. Poor
You
dog.
should have put Duncan in there.
She was good in this scene. I'm surprised I got away with as much as she was saying, because I mean, come on, it's bordering on bestiality, for crying out loud.
Oh, come on, Mike.
But one of my
Always got to make shit weird, bro.
well,
I
that's what the whole
swear,
thing was
man.
about. And then this was arguably my favorite skit of the night, was Sydney Sweeney as an intern for the New York Police Department, and they have a case files of like cold case files. They can't find these suspects, but she's able to find them in 3 seconds because she's the master of social media. So she's like, oh, well, I follow this person's TikTok, and then this person is friends with this person who has a Facebook page and is whatever. So within like 3 minutes, she has solved every cold case.
Oh, gosh.
and they're like, how are you able to do this? And she goes, it's because I'm 22 and I'm in a situationship.
Hey, I like this comment here right now from Matt Lerma, dude.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be the playlist theme for this week. He says, can we have an old school hip hop playlist for Friday
Yeah.
called 2000 and later, and only songs from 2009 and before allowed?
Okay, so
All right.
2000 to 2009?
Yeah.
I can deal with that.
Hip hop.
But again, this video is courtesy of NBC Universal. Tim Gonzalez asking the question, Salma Hayek not the overall number 1 seed? Well, I mean, Tim, here's the thing. As I stipulated in the post that I had on Twitter, it is how hot they are right now. Salma Hayek is still fire. Still fire. Man. But when we picture Salma Hayek in our head, we picture that whole bikini type thing that she was wearing back in, Dusk Till Dawn. Okay, it's not 96 anymore. It's 2024. So we're talking about today. It's 2024's hottie. Not when we talk about Tiffany Amber Thiessen or Tyson.
Yeah,
we're talking about her today, not Kelly Kapowski.
She's still hot.
Not 90210. I know, but it's different.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So like, they're gonna look at some pictures and they'll be like, "Oh, she looks good then," but what does she look like now? Yeah, you're basing it off of what they look like now.
2024's hottie. So we had 2 categories. Actually, it was the same category, but we had 2 different polls going up there. And one was the question, and because I'm on your page here, I get to vote here. So it was said, in honor of March Madness, the Alamo City Sportscast is creating the baddie brackets to determine the hottest female celebrity of 2024. We are doing the 50 and older today. We started it last night, and we're going to announce the two of the 4 from each poll are advancing to the Sweet 16. And I really shouldn't call it Sweet 16, because we're going to have some people who are going to say, you forgot about this person.
Yeah.
So we're going to add some more down the way. And ultimately, during the middle part of the month, when the basketball brackets are being done for March Madness, we're going to announce the ultimate baddie bracket winner. So we have in one category here, dude, check this out. We have over 100 votes coming in. Look at this pod right here. Again, 2 of the top 4 advance. Salma Hayek, Halle Berry, Sofia Vergara, and Marissa Tomei. Salma Hayek right now, I will let everybody know, is running away with it. But only like 1 or 2 votes separate Halle Berry, Sofia Vergara, and Marissa Tomei.
Wow.
They are almost tied. All of them. It's like a 3-way tie for second. Is it possible that Salma Hayek took away votes from Sofia Vergara?
I think so.
The other bracket that we have here, because we had to separate, we couldn't have all 3 Latinas in there.
Yeah. Got to spread
Jennifer
around.
Lopez, Regina Hall, Elizabeth Hurley, and Jennifer Aniston. And there's basically a 3-way tie for first. J-Lo, Regina Hall, Elizabeth Hurley, and Jennifer Aniston. 118 votes in. So which one are we going to drop today? Joe, I think because we mentioned Tiffany Amber Thiessen. Again, everyone pronounces it Thiessen, but I believe she pronounces it Tyson. Either way. I think we're going to have the nostalgic one.
Oh,
it's going to be the nostalgic hotties. I believe I called it something different, or Blast from the Past, or whatever we were calling it. And my question is, old school crush is what I called it. Who are the 2 top seeds on this list here? These are old school crushes from, I would say, 1995 to 2005. We've got Megan Fox.
Okay.
Hilary Duff.
Hey, Hillary Duff still look good,
Dude,
dude.
Hillary Duff got the junk in the trunk.
Built like a
dude.
tank, man.
Danica McKellar.
Oh, she's still
Winnie
hot.
Cooper,
She's
still hot. This is a tough category here. Lacey Chabert, right? She's on all the Hallmark movies now.
Yeah.
She was Gretchen Wieners in Mean Girls.
Yeah.
She was also in Party of Five. She was in None of the Teen Movie. Tiffany Amber Tyson, we know from 90210 Love and from Saved by the Bell back in the day. She just turned 50 the other day. But we put her in this list. Danielle Fishel, Topanga.
Okay.
Jessica Alba, who might be the first Latina billionaire soon enough.
She's still smoking, dude. Hot, dude. Smoking hot.
And someone who had a birthday this weekend, turned 45 years old, Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Okay.
This is going to be a 25%, 25%, 25%. So out of those, who are the top seeds? I don't even think we should name a top seed. It's difficult.
I think Jessica Alba.
Jessica Alba's the 1 seed?
I think so, man.
I think that Derek Jeter probably dated 3 of those girls. Garrett reaches out to us from the Netherlands saying, I'm being canceled because my crushes were from the 80s. Okay, so the 80s ones would be the girls from the Bangles, the girls from the Go-Go's, whoever Prince had at his side.
Look at those
Apollonia.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Elizabeth Hurley's still hot, dude. They said Elizabeth Hurley is sucia, but like it. But he likes it. She's a sucia, but he likes it.
David saying he voted for J-Lo and Salma Hayek. He likes it brown.
It's, that's what I'm saying, man. Nia Long and Lucy Liu.
Okay.
I showed you a pic of Lucy Liu.
Yeah, Lucy Liu's hot. Nia Long. I love Nia Long, dude. Ime Udoka's a complete idiot for cheating on her. But the line, that rap song back in the day, Nia Long in a thong. So the old school crush is coming out today. Again, they advanced to the Sweet 16. But you know what? Let's jot down some of those names if you can real fast. Nia Long and Lucy Liu.
Yeah.
And we're going to add another list of viewer requests. And we're going to add them to the bracket, right? Kind of like a play-in tournament, but instead of the play-in tournament to enter the tournament, it's going to be to enter midstream of the tournament.
Look at Gert. He says Carmen Electra.
I mean, dude, she was hot, man, but the whole Dennis Rodman thing turned me off. It turned me off a little bit. But this is going to be fun, man. But Sydney Sweeney, arguably the one overall seed, or is it Paige Sporonic?
Oh,
dude,
man.
I knowing that we're in San Antonio, when we get to the influencers one, dude, Yannick Garcia might make a run, dude.
Maybe. But, Sydney Sweeney, she's probably going to be the number 1 overall seed right now.
She is modern day Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
She's modern day Marilyn Monroe. That's just kind of it.
You see, Chris Gonzalez, man, he brings up another good one. Ming Na Wen, dude. She's still cute.
Yeah. I can see. So, by the way, did you know that on Saturday Night Live yesterday, I'm going to show a picture real fast. That actually 2 of our candidates there were actually part of Saturday Night Live. Oh, by the way, this was the end of it right here.
You got it?
Casey Musgraves. They got the hug at the end right there. Casey Musgraves was part of was a musical performer. She did a really good job, man. I like Casey Musgraves more and more every time I listen to what she has to say. But there's a great photo of them. It's like a promo shot that they had there. Can't find it. It's on my phone somewhere. Oh, this was it right here. This was the promo shot they had there. So Casey Musgraves will represent the music star portion. Hollywood would be Sydney Sweeney. They're both in there. Both on SNL this past weekend.
Dio saying, how do I vote?
You
go to the
MJ Acquired Taste
on the X.
On the X. Go find me on Twitter.
Hey, one thing that we got to do is we got to throw some love out to our boy, man, Jeff Garcia. So we're gonna go ahead and start playing his little bump here. So let me go ahead and switch transition here so we can go ahead and get his little video going.
Yeah.
So here we go. Locked on Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast hosted by Jeff Garcia the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@Locked On Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
And don't forget to follow him again at Jeff G Spurs on Twitter and Threads, but also at kens5.com. He has an article today talking about how the Spurs point guard Blake Wesley
You got it up?
Yeah, before he went out and destroyed the rim there at the Frost Bank Center in a good way. Okay, he wasn't clanking it. He had a good game yesterday. Had one of the best dunks of the season for the Spurs, but he had a basketball clinic as part of the team salute to the armed forces. So there's an article by Jeff Garcia on kens5.com. Again, follow him on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. I'm oftentimes on Locked On Spurs. Joe, you are as well. Rudy Campos Jr.
Yeah, good friend Rudy.
And speaking of Rudy Campos Jr., Sweep the League is at 2 o'clock. Again, not only support this show, but support this network because it's beyond our podcast. 2 o'clock till about 3:30 or so, we have Sweep the League with Rudy Campos Jr. Coach Gio is oftentimes on there as well. It's his take on sports as well because this is becoming more and more of a thing.
It is, man.
And also, big thanks to Carolina Teague. I don't know if it's a thanks, but you can follow her at CT the Mike Slayer.
Yep.
She did a fantastic job, and a lot of what she did was posted on KBB. Chuck McKinnon gave her a shout out because some of the interviews that she was doing out there at the NFL Combine were featured on KBB. But she did a fantastic job out there doing her thing, and CT, amazing. And a lot of us here, a lot of our listeners helped her when it came to this because she is going after her dream, which is to become a sports journalist. She was representing a Las Vegas radio station out there, but did a lot of stuff for local stations as well. CT did an amazing job, and a lot of the support that she got because it's not cheap to chase your dream. Not at all. It's not cheap at all. But I donated. A lot of other people donated. Bernana's donated some money as well. Because she missed time from work to be able to go out there and do what she does. And she did a video right here where she thanked all of her supporters. And she told me what her goal was financially, and I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah.
She gave me what her goal was, and I told her goal should be higher. And the goal exceeded my goal for her.
I say, there you go.
So people came around. So she thanked all of us for it all. Look at what we're doing for women in media, sports media, because our listeners also helped out Katie Goodman. We paid for her passport.
Yeah, to go to Australia.
And that passport was beyond the cost of the passport. It was for it to be expedited and done like within a matter of a couple of days. And we also paid for the gas to get her out to Houston to go pick it up.
Yeah.
So San Antonio, and we love our women in sports media, Alamo City Sportscast. What we do over here is not only talk sports, pop culture, nostalgia, and yes, we have Demon Mike times and all that stuff, but we love the ladies who do sports here.
Yeah, man. And Carolina is a good friend of mine. I mean, we talk just about like every other day. I know she's going to be flying into town, I believe, today. So I'm going to gauge, where she's at. I mean, she was working her ass off, over the weekend. So we're going to see if she's up for doing Tuesdays with Teague. I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, does an amazing job. We love CT around here.
Hey, we also got to go ahead and give some love to our good boy over here, Chris Leha, man, with MCS General Contracting.
He's coming by my house today, man. He's going to give me an estimate on not only the walkway that I did. So his people came out to my house over the weekend and resurfaced the patio in my front of my house. Looks a lot better. So now I'm going to be doing a walkway from my gate to my back porch. There was some erosion there. Probably need to get some gutters and all that stuff. But really taking care of the house. And he's going to come out today to give me an estimate on it all.
Nice.
And he was like, Michael, do we want to go all out? Or do we want to just get the job done or go all out? But as he's always said, stop being cheap. It's getting it done right.
Yeah, man.
And
he's showing done right, it'll last.
He's showing me some options there that look amazing. But I got to see what the estimate's going to say. But let's hear about MCS.
MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business. Honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show.
Thank you so much. I'll see you later on today, Chris Leha.
Yeah, man.
So Tim Gonzalez asking the question, when will we see Katie Goodman on the show? I think when the Ascension FC gets going in full force, we will. And then also when college sports get going again, like UIW football and all that, at the beginning of the school year next year in August.
Oh, they're asking if we're doing the spaces today. I don't know if I'm going to be doing the spaces because I'm going to be working. But Matt, if you're in here, Matt Lerma, if you're in here, let us know if you're going to be doing a Spurs spaces today. That way we can go ahead and let the listeners know.
And Matt's doing a fantastic job when it comes to that, because Twitter Spaces is something that
it's wild, bro.
It's wild, but you also need to have the time and patience to do it.
Yeah.
Like I don't have the patience to do it. I have the patience to take part in it and step in and step out.
Yeah.
But what I have found interesting right now, especially if the Spurs go out to beat the Rockets tomorrow night in Houston. God, I want to go. Dad, if you're listening, let's get in the car.
4-hour drive.
I think there's some healing going on when it comes to Spurs fans. And I wonder, Joe, when we looked at our numbers, the people who, and we haven't checked the Spotify numbers, we haven't checked all that stuff.
Yeah.
But even the replay of what we did, because we posted it twice.
Yeah.
We have the live post.
And then the replay.
And then the replay. The replay was massive. We had more views than our number of subscribers.
Yeah, it's wild, dude.
That's a wild number. And we compare that to other podcasts in town. Dude, we're up there.
Yeah.
We're up there.
It's all thanks to the listeners, to the viewers, everybody supporting the show. I mean, we greatly appreciate it. But more importantly, they're not just supporting the show, they're supporting the network, by them giving us super chats or even buying us a coffee and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it all helps the network grow, So make sure you all go and you check out Rudy Campos Jr. and give him some love too, and what they're doing over there from 2 p.m. to about 3:30 p.m. every single day. So they're doing their thing at Sweep the League.
Was it as simple as the Spurs won and people just wanted to hear it?
I think so. I think it was that. And plus the guests that we had on, we also had Spernandes. We had Steph Mejia, in studio with us. And we were actually talking about a bunch of different topics on that Friday.
We went into boxing.
We're talking Spurs. We're just talking everything.
Yeah.
Hotties, the whole gamut.
I think the show is starting to round form now that we have the website, now that we have a better understanding of what people are interested in.
Yeah, our viewership.
I mean, right now I'm looking at the number of people who are watching live. It's about 50% more than normal. Look, we got somebody else who just jumped on.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, and you find that we have different types of people who listen to the show. We've got the diehards who listen at 10:15 to 11:30, but then we also have the lunch crowd. We also have a number of people who listen at 5 o'clock, people who listen at 10 o'clock. And one of the things that we do when we do this show is that we don't date it.
Yeah.
It's not one of those things where you had to have listened at 10 a.m. to enjoy it. Because if you're listening right now at 10 p.m., it's still fresh to you. And that's what we're trying to do with this show. And I think people are getting that. I think people are spreading this. And I think the number of people that we have as subscribers now jumping up to 720 this morning. When we get to 1,000, I'm being dunked in something. Okay.
Yeah. Matt Lerma says, y'all got that Matt Lerma bump. Haha.
That's a good point.
I
don't doubt it.
The good thing is that I went and we did the joint spaces, So after on Friday, after we had, our show done, then I went ahead and went over with Matt and we did the joint spaces over there. And we're just talking with Spurs fans and having discussions, and let's just listening to them, man.
And do you know what's so funny? Do you know how people say, like, and Matt Laramore, if you can chime in on this, by the way.
And let us know if you're doing the spaces today. They were already asking.
You know, they say that some people don't like me. They don't like my persona sometimes on Twitter, but then they meet me in person and they go like, oh, I really like the guy. I think the same thing is with the show. I think that people will see the 10-second clip or me getting cooked.
Yeah.
And not see it in the full context of the show itself. Because once you get into the full show itself, it's not as cocky, it's not as arrogant, it's not as asinine. There's some context to it all. Like when I called the city poor.
Oh God.
There was more context to it than anything else. I was talking about Henry Cisneros and how he was a visionary, how we need a Henry Cisneros type of figure. And what gets cut out by the current was that little snippet right there, dude. It doesn't tell the full story, man. It tells the truth, but not the whole truth. So help me God.
Look at this right here. Dio saying y'all got to start posting MJ's hot takes for TikTok, shorts, reels, etc. They'll get you all some views and some haters. Well, we've been trying to do better job in getting the shorts out. You know?
And when the shorts go out there, they do well. You know, and sometimes I get on TikTok and I see that you posted something. I'm like, hey, crap, that's me.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been doing a little bit better doing that, man. So it's time too, because I'm doing this stuff and I'm breaking the show down as I'm doing my 9-to-5 job. So I'm over here busy, and in between, I'm over here, have that laptop right here.
Yeah.
So I'm over here trying to edit and break the show down and put it out there. And then at the same time, I'm trying to get the clips out. And at the same time, I'm trying to help Rudy as well and get his show so they can get the replay up as well. So I'm downloading that, sending it to his producer so they can put it up on the YouTube channel. So
and that's
teamwork,
the thing.
man.
You and I have full-time jobs.
Yeah.
We work 50, 60 hours a week doing our day job.
Yeah.
And people ask the question all the time. It's like, how do you watch these games? I'm like, well, that's just my downtime.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I am on the go from 7 a.m., 6:30 when my kids show up, get them out the door, make them breakfast, take them to school, start working my job. And then I race my ass off over here to do the show over here at 10:15. Sometimes it starts at 10:15 on the dot. Sometimes like today, it's 10:17. But the fact of the matter is that we race out here to get it. And we do a lot in a short period of time.
Yeah.
An hour and 15 hours.
Efficient with the time.
Yeah. And I know what I want to talk about before I get here, but it's just one of those things where we don't put pad to paper.
Yeah, we don't need 3 to 4 hour show prep, man.
I used to do that at Sports.
We don't need that no more.
We have a super chat coming in from Garrett. Sending some euros our way from the Netherlands.
Baby, get it.
Says, I enjoy the show you guys you put on every day. I love the fact that you guys put on honest opinion on the Spurs. Now, Garrett, I don't understand, Garrett, and we love the fact that you're over there in Europe. I would assume it's around 6 p.m. over there, 6:30 p.m. right now. Are you from San Antonio? How did you become a Spurs fan? Because I don't think we ever got into that.
Yeah, we never asked him how he became a Spurs fan.
Because like on Twitter, the artist formerly known as Bushby, who now goes by Zed's Dead, right? Because she got banned from Twitter for a while there.
Yeah.
She became a Spurs fan from Australia, and she watches it at a different time.
You know, we need to get her on the show. We need to get our international fans on the show.
I like where you're going with that.
Yeah.
I like where you're going with that. But she would mention the fact that she became a fan because she was a fan of Patty Mills.
Yeah.
And when Patty Mills became a member of the Spurs, she went out there and followed the Spurs and has been a Spurs fan ever since. That's actually been a big question right now because Patty Mills was waived by the Atlanta Hawks. Where does Patty Mills go now? Do we bring him home? Yes, we bring him home. Yes, we do.
Retire Spur, man. Let him retire Spur. Oh, yeah. And then Tim Gonzalez saying, I believe on Sweep the League, we asked Derek Gervin questions, flashbacks about what ifs. And the cool thing is, if you go and listen to Sweep the League, they have Derek Gervin, which is the brother of George Gervin.
Right.
So if you all want to hear a lot of little side stories and some of the nostalgia, some of the things that are going on, you got to listen to Sweep the League because Derek, he gives you gold, man. He's serving up gold about his brother. And Derek actually played in the NBA as well.
Yeah, he did.
I have his rookie card. I remember saw him in person one time. I was out there at the radio station with Rudy, and I got him to sign the rookie card.
That's badass.
The New Jersey Nets, yeah.
Going to ESPN.com, one of their top headlines, Wemby shines bright, leads Spurs to consecutive wins. Again, we're going to go streaking for the first time since 2022, December of 2022. Last time the Spurs had a winning streak.
Hey, if the Spurs win 3 games in a row, are we going honking down Commerce?
Doing something.
5 games in a row?
Doing 5 games in a row.
Hey, you know what'd be cool? If they win like 5 games in a row, we got to round up the troops, right? And we'll meet at that little HEB that's down in downtown area. We'll meet in the parking lot, and we'll go down Commerce. We'll just start honking at randomly over the weekend or something.
I don't think it's deserving of Commerce. Maybe Southwest Military Drive.
That's not your scene, though, man.
What do you mean?
Southwest Military Drive, man.
Dude, I had lunch there the other day.
Oh, man.
One of the steakhouses over there.
You were at Don Pedro?
No. There's a steakhouse on Southwest Military.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly where that's
Hungry
at. Hungry Farmer,
Hungry
dude.
Farmer.
Yeah, that place is legit.
Dude, I had lunch there the other day. Over the weekend, LeBron James became the first player in NBA history to have 40,000 points. He now stands at 40,017 points for his career. That is nearly 2,000 more than second place, who I thought was going to always hold the record, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. People were asked the question over the weekend. Some of these NBA stars were asked the question, who is going to be the next person to catch him, or who's going to be the most likely person to catch him? And there were these NBA stars who were saying that it could be Steph Curry. So then I went up and I looked at the points list. Steph Curry right now is nowhere even close, man, to 40,000. Steph Curry is the 31st on the list of all-time scorers, which is great.
Yeah.
He's a Hall of Famer. He has 23,000 points. Calculating this, he hasn't played at the level he's playing at right now till age 43 to get to 40,000. And oh, by the way, LeBron's not retiring this year. So LeBron's probably going to retire with 42,000 when it's all said and done.
Yeah. Oh, they're asking about David Outwater's Lake. What about Taro Katani, international fan? Taro's actually a friend of mine.
Really?
Yeah, me and Taro have met the mayor in person because he's come down here and he's gotten a private meet and greets with the mayor, Mayor Ron Nirenberg. So we've been in the mayor's office privately meeting with him, and we're just chatting, talking sports and whatnot with Mayor Ron Nirenberg. Great guy.
Do you know what would be interesting? If we get Garrett, Bushby, and Taro on like, can we get more than one guest at one time?
Oh, yeah, dude. We can probably get like 20 or 50 in here, dude.
Well, let's get like 2.
Yeah.
Let's get like 2, and just like it'll be International Day here for Spurs fans.
That'd be cool. We just got to make sure the timelines match up.
I want them to say it's 3 a.m.
Well, I'm saying that for them, like if you all can be on at that time, you know what I mean?
Yeah. For one
Garrett
of them,
for
one of them, it's Tuesday. The other one's Thursday.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
All it is just me sending out a simple link, via email or DM, and there you go. They just join up with us.
Hand of a Fist is asking a question right now. Who's got bigger arms? Mayor or Jeff G?
Oh, man. Hey, man. Mayor Ron Nirenberg, that brother's ripped, bro.
He is. Dude.
He's ripped, man.
He is.
And he's such a nice guy. Like, if you sit down with him, he'll just, like, start chatting up, sports and asking you how you're doing, how's the family and all that, So it's cool just sitting down with Mayor Ron Nirenberg because he's a busy guy.
Yeah.
For him to donate a little bit of time out of his day.
I met him at the Missions game about 2 years ago. Real fast, before we let everybody go, a photo that I like to share with you on Twitter. That is me completing the Alamo Donut Dash. So Sunday was the Alamo 13-1 half marathon downtown. The day before, they had the Donut Dash, which was a 5K or a 10K. I ran the 10K, which is 6.21 miles. My goal was to run it in an hour and 21 minutes. That's a 13-minute mile pace because I'm a big dude. But I finished in 1:13, 7.5 minutes faster than the time that I was hoping to get because I train at home and whatnot. Krispy Kreme was one of the sponsors. They gave everybody donuts as you cross the finish line. I made reference to the fact on the post that I did on Twitter that I ran at an 11:50 per mile, 11 minutes and 50 seconds per mile for 6.2 miles, right? And then I put down in quotes, Joe, and no one made mention of it, I'm athletic.
Oh, God. I think it was too easy. They wanted to build you up because you were trying to do something good for your body, and doing this marathon. So,
But am I athletic, Joe?
No.
Dude, I ran 6.21 miles.
Anybody can run, brother.
No, not everybody could run 6.21 miles.
Anybody can run.
Now, I will say this, though. That night, Went to sleep.
I'll bet.
Went to sleep. Charlie horse on my right calf, dude. I was screaming. This is me taking a photo after passing the 4-mile marker.
Yeah.
And people are like, how are you like stopping to take selfies? Couldn't you finish faster? I'm not stopping. I'm actually walking because what I was doing the intervals, right? I was doing 1 mile run. 1 minute run, 30-second walk, 1 minute run, 30-second walk for the whole hour and 12 minutes or hour and 13 minutes, right? So I am not stopped to take a photo. I am still moving when I'm taking these photos. Yes, so Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs said that I did the run for clout. I have no idea what that means. What does doing it for clout mean? I don't get it.
I don't know. Look at that, Mario Kovacic. You consume a donut per lap.
No, I consumed 1 chocolate donut when it was all said and done. They gave me 2. I only ate 1.
I think he sent a tweet to us. Gert said,
"Oh, nice. Swiss says, I'm so proud of you.
You didn't lose your breath.
You didn't lose your breath. I didn't. And you know what's so funny about it is that I've actually run 3 half marathons, and I ran all 3 after the age of 40.
That's not bad.
And when I finished the 6 miles, so a 10K is essentially almost half a half marathon, right? The fastest I ever ran a half marathon was 2 hours and 47 minutes. I probably would have been at the halfway point at about 1 hour and 15 minutes. In my head, I was thinking to myself, my goodness, could I have done this again, but in a minute, in an hour 32, as opposed to an hour 15? Because if I could have done that, I would have beaten my personal best. I wasn't tired, dude, when I crossed the finish line. I wasn't tired. I could have kept going. And I'm looking at my pace that I ran this 10K on. Joe, my first mile was 11:10.
Not bad.
My first mile was 11:10. My next mile, dude. So check this out, dude. This is how fast I ran. I ran none of my runs were bad. I was trying to be within 13 minutes for every mile, right? My first mile, I have my numbers here, 11:16. And then I did a 12:14, a 12:24, a 12:30, a 12:37, and a 12:45.
That's not bad, man.
And that was going uphill, man. Miles 3 through 5 were all uphill. Mile 1, which I did 11 whatever in, was down. Someone Swiss saying clout was for attention. Yes, I did this so I could tweet it.
And I just sent a notice out there to everybody that's interacting with us in the chat. Just said, we appreciate every one of you guys. Y'all are the best, man. We really do appreciate y'all.
Very, very nice. Spurs back in action tomorrow. We can all bask in the glory that the Spurs have won a couple of games in a row. Again, don't forget to vote on our baddie brackets at MJ Acquire Taste. Maybe we'll have to retweet those, Joe, if you can.
Yeah.
Again, the top 2 from each poll advance to the next round. We're going to name the ultimate baddie tonight. A new batch of baddies will be introduced into the mix. Old school crushes. We're talking about Tiffany Amber Thiessen, Jessica Alba, Danielle Fishel, Jennifer Love Hewitt. I'm interested to see how this one goes because I can see.
Oh, Marissa Tomei.
Oh, yeah. Marissa Tomei is in the 50 plus right now.
Yeah.
She's battling out right now because right now
it's a tie almost.
Yeah, Salma Hayek is running away with hers right now, but for second place, it's basically a 3-way tie. It's a dead heat.
Jeez. Hey, our poll that we put out here to the viewers right now in the YouTube chat, is Wemby the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year? 81% say yes, 19% say no.
Oh, wow. He's closing the gap, dude.
He is, man.
He's closing the gap. I was trying to process that in my head. Yeah, he's closing the gap more and more by the day. Don't forget, Sweep the League gets going at 2:00. Matt Larima reached out to us, by the way, says that he is going to be doing Twitter Spaces later on today.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk Spurs, he says that we got a Larima bump. I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
I ain't going to say anything about it.
Hey, man, everybody's been helping, dude. So that's the thing, you know.
Larima
y'all show
bump.
us love, we give you love.
Carolina Teague bump. We got a Spernandez bump. Chicana Fuerte bump.
Yeah.
We got a Mike Taylor bump back in the day. They do a great show as well.
Yeah. We need to get Rudy J. We got to see, man. I got to get with DJ LG, man. See if there's something we can do to maybe have them on, near the end of our show.
Or it's a simulcast type of thing where we hand off to each other.
Hand off, exactly. Give them the baton. Come on for a little bit, in our show, and then maybe we can be on their show for a little bit, couple minutes as well.
Yeah.
I'll get with DJ. Let's see if we can do that. DJ LG.
All right. Hey, everyone have a fantastic Monday. It's a great start to the week. Spurs have won back-to-back. Dad, if you're listening, let's go to Houston tomorrow. Let's watch them win number 3. Mike Jimenez, Joe Garcia, Batty Brackets. Don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow.
Peace, fellas.